I'll apologize for this sermon before I give it, because I have a feeling I'm going to go all over the place today. I just told Fran before I walked up here, I said I have 3 different sermons in my head, and I'm going to try to just give you one. As I listen to this gospel today, particularly, we have Jesus quoting from the scriptures, talking about a land that is overshadowed by death, where there's a need for sunshine and brightness and light. And it will come, and it will happen. Today, Jesus goes to gather those who are going to walk this journey with him down this road to death. But it's a road to life. And he's hand-picking these apostles along the way. And they are fishermen, making a living at fishing. But Jesus invites them into a different kind of fishing, and he makes it very clear. From now on, you will not be fishing for fish. You will be fishing for men and women. An invitation to happiness, maybe. Yes, I have to admit, when I woke up this morning, every morning these last few days, I've been waking up looking for sunshine. It's sort of like, sunshine will make me feel better. And we all probably have in our own heads, what will make us happy? What is it that will make me feel better? I was reading an article this last week by Father Don Telefus from St. John's. He was talking about happiness, and he said, isn't it interesting? He said, some people are just naturally happy. They just seem to smile all the time. They seem to be in a good mood all the time, even in weather like this. Even when things aren't going so well in their life, some people just seem to exude a happiness or a cheerfulness. And he said, what I've discovered, he said, in life is that those people who are out looking for happiness, trying to be happy, never seem to find it because they're looking for this happiness in things. Happiness. Is it about things? Some years ago, I saw there are 5 of us priests that had been in a priest fraternity group for 20-some years. And along the way, the 5 of us were visiting one day, and they said, let's go to New Zealand. Now, I'm not a big person on going on vacations to look at scenery or if I can go there to go fishing or to go hunting or go canoeing or scuba diving, I'm fine with it. But to go there just to look and walk and enjoy the scenery, I'm not into that. And so those guys all wanted to go to New Zealand, which I've had a dream to go to New Zealand. Sort of like going to New Zealand would make me happy. You know why? Because they have the largest trout in the world. And some of the most beautiful trout streams ever. And it's in gorgeous country. And I told those guys before we left, I said, you know what? I will go on this trip with you, but you got to let me go fishing. So if you guys want to go off and look at the penguins, or if you want to go off and hike up through the hills, go for it. But I want those days, I want to be able to go fishing. I'll start out the day with you, and I'll end it with you and have supper with you, but during the day, I want to be fishing. So I had this whole trip. We knew where we were going to be each day, and I looked at the streams in that part of New Zealand and the South Island and through Christchurch and all the way up the other side of the island and up to the North Island. I had these lakes and places picked out and had a couple of guides that I was going to connect with. But I have to tell you something. I spent those days alone, fly fishing. Now, some of you who are really into fishing might say, so what? Great. But you know what? I missed those guys during the day when I was fishing. I'd land this 4-pound brown trout. I'd land this trout, and there was nobody there to take a picture of me with this fish. And nobody there to enjoy the catching. So I could holler a little bit and, woo, look what I got. I mean, there's something missing when you do that alone. And I am finding out, even as I get older in my own life, I enjoy doing those kinds of things outdoors and stuff more so with other people than I do alone. By the end of the trip, I was looking at penguins and hiking the trails. And I have to tell you, I enjoyed the fishing. It was great. But there was something missing, and I was not with the people in my life. It's one of the biggest fears I have about retirement. I have to tell you honestly, is about missing you people who are part of my life. But then somebody said, so why are you retiring? I said, well, because I want to be with my family, whom I don't get to see as much over in Mankato. And just a couple of weeks ago, I was home, and my niece stopped by with her husband and their 3 little children. I couldn't remember the names of the little children. I baptized all 3 of them. I couldn't remember their names, and I'm like, I need to get reconnected with other people that I love too. But in our lives, is it really about things that make us happy, or is it about relationships? And I'll say, yeah, relationships we talk about with each other, with people. Isn't that what really counts for us? People I know who retire will tell me, man, I'm spending time with my grandchildren. I've never enjoyed my grandchildren and my children as much as I do now. But there's another relationship, too, to which Jesus helps us understand today. I mean, he's inviting these apostles to go on a journey with him that's going to involve all kinds of relationships with the people with whom those apostles are going to preach Jesus Christ and coming to know God, our Creator in heaven. He invites them to do that, and that they will find joy in serving others. I still remember as a little kid when any of us boys would start whining or complaining about something and say, I'm bored. You know what my mother would do? She'd go out and make cookies and say, okay, take these over to Mrs. Keefe and don't come back for an hour. She intended us to stay there and visit with Mrs. Keefe. Or she would make soup. She'd I have some soup, take this down to the rectory, to the fathers, and stay down there and visit with them for a while. Or, I still remember a Vietnamese family, the Wens, who were very close to our family. She would send a couple, 2, 3 of us boys, go over there and visit with them. And you know what? We'd always come back hopping and skipping and jumping. Feeling good, not even knowing why. Because it was about relationships in our life that bring us life. Jesus knows that, and he sees that in every single one of us. That what really will make us happy is the relationships in our lives, not the things in our life. Particularly the relationship that we are called to have with our God in heaven. Purpose that Jesus came, the reason that Jesus chose his apostles to help us understand how much God loves us through people like Jesus and through people with whom we sit right now who love us already. Isn't that the greatest gift? Those whom we love on this earth. And if I can spend every day thanking God for that, then I will be happy. Father Don Telefus says, here we are in this country, we talk about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And he's very clear. Don't pursue happiness. Happiness will come to us if we love and care for each other, and we know the love of God, and we believe in it, and we live our lives like that. Then we will just be happy. We don't have to search for it or pursue it. Today we turn to our God. We know that Jesus chose those apostles for a difficult task. But it was about those apostles connecting with the people to whom they ministered, to help them know how much God loved them. And in knowing that love of God, we would truly come to love each other better too.